We all know the standard tabletop RPG cult setup. You open a heavy wooden door and find a dozen figures in matching black robes, chanting in Latin around a cavern fire, waiting for your investigators to throw dynamite at them. Treating your human adversaries as generic, disposable monsters robs a game like Call of Cthulhu of its unique psychological horror. The best cosmic horror thrives in a civilized, modern setting. When you look at the bustling streets and vintage cars of a place like 1920s Arkham, the danger shouldn't be obvious. It should be hiding in broad daylight. In this video, we are going to build a terrifying, psychologically complex organization using a simple 3-pillar framework. A masterfully designed cult bypasses the player's character sheets completely. It systematically attacks their real-world morality and sanity. Pillar 1 is the Mundane mask. The most dangerous cults hide entirely in plain sight. Wrapping a dark purpose in high society respectability makes your organization legally and socially untouchable. A group portrait of 1920s elites like this one provides the perfect cover. These are the faces of a philanthropic board, completely above suspicion. Take the canonical Hermetic Order of the Silver Twilight. They operate out of a prestigious, exclusive men's club. When investigators step into a comfortable, elite room like this, they immediately feel out of their depth. This mundane front serves a strict operational purpose. A public charity dedicated to funding local orphanages provides the perfect mechanism for secretly selecting victims for a dark agenda without drawing police attention. Step 1 for your campaign: define your cult's legal business cover and identify its legitimate revenue stream. Embedding the cult deep within the city's infrastructure forces players to fight the law, the local economy, and high society. Against those targets, a .38 revolver is completely useless. Pillar 2 is the psychology of the Acolyte. We need to avoid the Derleth trap, the mistake of designing cultists driven by pure, unrepentant evil. Sane people are driven to unspeakable acts by grounded motivations. Intense personal grief or overwhelming economic desperation strips away normal moral boundaries. The esoteric Order of Dagon illustrates this perfectly. The people of Innsmouth made their dark bargains purely to ensure the survival of their dying fishing industry. Alternatively, you can leverage the obsession for forbidden knowledge. The Church of Starry Wisdom targets desperate academics, luring them in with the promise of hidden truths buried within massive library collections like this one. Step 2. Write down one specific, tragic motivation for your cult's leader. Granting your adversaries a sympathetic motive weaponizes the player's own empathy. When the investigators finally corner the cultists, pulling the trigger becomes a deeply disturbing moral dilemma rather than a standard combat victory. Pillar 3 is the ritual hook. True horror comes from a profound sense of wrongness, not from violence. We are going to abandon the daggers, the blood, and the chanting. Instead, place your ritual in an inappropriate, pristine setting. An ornate ballroom creates a grotesque contrast for the climax of your investigation. Let's design the climax using sensory anomalies. Start with auditory horror. Imagine this vintage mechanical phonograph playing a localized, discordant frequency that causes the glass in the room to fracture. Next, introduce an olfactory or gustatory detail. Fill the landlocked room with the overwhelming smell of a rotting ocean, or have the players taste copper in the back of their throats. Finally, add unnatural kinesthetics. Picture a congregation of 50 people in evening wear, standing completely still, all breathing in impossible synchronized silence. Step 3. Draft a bulleted list of 3 specific sensory details to read to your players during the climax. Bypassing the visual cortex and explicitly targeting the player's imagined physical senses creates a lingering, visceral discomfort. Standard descriptions of gore simply cannot achieve this effect. You now possess a complete toolkit: a mundane front to hide behind, a sympathetic acolyte profile to confuse the narrative, and a sensory disturbing ritual for the climax. Your custom creation is a fully operational, multi-layered threat ready for the table. The transition from the mundane surface into the esoteric truth is complete. These three pillars interlock to create a seamless mystery. The facade, the human mind, and the alien truth slide together to form a single structure. This traps your investigators.
The front hides the cult, the psychology confuses morality, and the ritual shatters their sanity. Drop your favorite custom cult ideas and front businesses in the comments below. Let's build a library of threats together. The monster at the end of the campaign is only a consequence. The true cosmic horror lies in the terrifyingly mundane human machinery that summons it.